Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Lesson Non-Classics. This is episode number 1782 and Doubleshot number 1676. Now, this is the first of three straight comic corners I'm going to do. The first one is a bit interesting to say the least. It collects the second volume of an actual ongoing series that was launched in response to the fact that trade paperbacks for this series sold really well. What series is this? This is the Unstoppable Wasp. This is basically A.I.M Escape. Yeah, this is pretty much in a way collecting the second volume of the Unstoppable Wasp. And it did manage to last longer than the previous volume, but only by 2 issues. Yeah, this one lasted for 10, while the first volume lasted for 8. Now, here's the thing. Is there any bad issue of this run? No. There isn't. It's an absolute great series. Now, not the first time I've seen Marvel did this, where they basically have this whole, almost digest-sized book compared to some of the other trades they have, where they collect an entire run in one of these things, which is not a bad idea to do. Here's a good example. Here's How Wasp Girl Power. That's the entire first volume of the series, all 8 issues. And here's some more. You have one for Mugo Devil Dinosaur. It's mostly put in a way like a combination of a couple different trades. Now, they keep the same creative team in the book. Good job. That's a good idea. Keep the writer of the book, who is Jeremy Wheatley. Yes, he's the writer of the book. Now, the artwork is done by 2 different artists. For the first 5 issues in A through 10 is Gathero. The rest of the book for issue 6 is Ati Frisia. The cover art is done by Gathero, who does issue 1. You have Stacey Lee, who does issues 2 through 10. They get special thanks to Tamara Robinson, Matthew Connor, MD, Jimmy Jones, Christine Kelly, Chris Carey, Quentin Keith W. Cunningham, and Sherry Simmer. Now, in these issues, we have 2 social issues basically explored in here. 2 very important things that are not laughed at. They're treated very seriously in the book, and you gotta praise Jeremy for that. That was really good. One good thing, what the first thing they explore in here is bipolar disorder. Yes, they confirm in this book that Nydia has got bipolar disorder. And apparently it's also confirmed the reason why that sometimes basically Hank Pym has little spouts of rage. He apparently was also bipolar too. Yes. Apparently it was a trait passed along to his daughter. And at one point she had an episode where she basically beat the crap out of her own friends. And here's the thing. After she calmed down, she apologized to every single one of them. I'm like, that is good writing. And I also love the fact that Jarvis is going to be a great father figure for Nydia in this whole book. Now, the whole thing of this book is that he would aim a lot of the time, and also she gets revelations by her family. Yes, she does know that Viv is basically her great niece. Vision is basically her nephew. Ultron is obviously her brother. And, well, they do confirm that, get this, that William Greer, who is Tigra's son, they do confirm that in here, and I thought this was so great that Jeremy Whitley brought this character back. Tigra's son, William Grant Greer, who, by the way, she named this after her late husband. And genetically, he is in fact Hank Pym's son, which also makes him Nydia's half-brother. Though his father was actually a Skrull posing as Hank Pym. It's kind of weird. It was something that was explored in Pages of Avengers Academy, which I'm sure Jeremy basically probably felt like he probably did. This happened toward the end of the book when it's about Nydia's birthday. She also got a chance to meet Cassie Lang, which was awesome. I love the fact she got a chance to meet somebody who's also the daughter of an Ant-Man. Yeah, Nydia's daughter of the original Ant-Man, and Cassie Lang is daughter of the second Ant-Man, Scott Lang, who does appear in the book. And yes, they actually had a team-up book together. Yes, they did. And the bigger social issue they explore in here is the character Shay. They confirm she's a lesbian here, and one of her coworkers Yang, is her girlfriend. And when she tells her mom that she's gay. For what I can tell, her mother looked like she was ready to disown her for this. Then Yang stands up for her, basically says she knows a bunch of martial arts, and basically she stands up for herself and her girlfriend. And later on, when she meets Shay's father, apparently the mother had no problem with that. She basically is very happy with the fact that Yang stood up for herself. Shows the fact she has balls to be with her daughter. Good on the part of Jim Whitley for doing that. And, of course, I love the fact that when they have a raid on an A.I.M facility, Tigra volunteered to lead it because basically relates to Hank Pym. Now, also, for some reason, I'm not sure why Jeremy included this, because here's a strange thing. Prior to the start of this series, like the original book, there was no mention about Pym Labs being a company. That was something from the MCU they included in the comic book for some reason. Now, in case you're curious, though, the whole purpose of what was the purpose of Nydia in the comics per se? Well, that was a response to the character in the movies, Hope Van Dyne. Yes, Hank Pym's daughter, which this character pretty much the same purpose of that, being a daughter of Hank Pym, but the mother is different. Though that character itself is obviously loosely based upon the character Hope from the MC2, Marvel Comics 2, styled by Tom DeFalco, and they made her into a villain for some reason. I don't know why. Here, they have it where she's a good guy, and she's basically the Wasp. Which, of course, they borrowed that from the MCU because Hope Van Dyne in the MC2 universe was not the Wasp. She was some other character. Oh, by the way, she also had a brother. Yes, Hank Pym had 2 children with Janet. Now, here's the thing. In the regular universe, I think everybody's been curious, though. As long as Janet and Hank married, did these 2 ever have any kids? Well, they did. I read in a comic book that it was confirmed that these 2 basically decided not to have kids because of the superhero careers. And you're thinking, is that stupid? It is. It is completely stupid. And thank God we have Nydia here. Which, yeah, she's a fangirl. She basically is like good best friends with... She's basically treats Bobby Morse as basically one of her closest friends instead of like not knowing her very long. Yes, people would also know her for the fact she's also Hawkeye's beautiful ex-wife. Which I think everybody basically would tease Hawkeye like, You basically, you're married to her and then she divorced you? Damn, Clint, you're a lucky guy that married that hot babe right there. Despite the fact that Clint was not the first guy that tried to seduce her, it was actually Kazar. Yes. Yeah. Oh, at the birthday party, I gotta bring this up. She got a chance to meet the Winter Soldier, James Buchanan Barnes. And apparently, Nydia's kind of met it before. Because of his arm. Yes, the robotic arm he's had for decades. The one he had with Red Star on it. She does remember that. She does basically remember seeing him, but she never talked to him before. And this was great. And this book is just so good. And it is a shame this book got canceled again. Was it low sales? I have no idea. Because it seems like Marvel basically brought the book back because popular demand. Except they canceled again after 10 issues. That's the only thing I like about this, is the fact they canceled 10 issues. It's an absolute great book. I give this book a 10 out of 10 because it's really good. My final thoughts on the Unstoppable Wasp series, because I've technically reviewed the whole series now, because I did review 2 trades that was pretty much the first line for the trades, the comic series, which was 8 issues, and this book here. This pretty much in a way puts behind me the Unstoppable Wasp. Oddly enough, Nydia didn't do very much after this book was canceled. If you're curious though, where should she show up after this? Champions. No, seriously. I also love the fact that In the book itself, basically, when they have one of the characters where she like decided to go help uh, Nydia, had to put on one of Jan's old costumes, which was damaged. But yeah, yeah, it's something though. The fact that, well, as of right now, when it comes to the Unstoppable Wasp, well, Nydia, I am pretty much done with this character. I have pretty much reviewed everything, all of her trades, like everything that's released. There is literally nothing left. Now, if you're curious though, what did Nydia do after the book was canceled? Like, well, pretty much not much. No, seriously, she didn't do very much at all. She pretty much in the way joined the champions. Yeah, she joined the champions for reasons. Yes. Now, that's the odd thing when it comes to the Wasp. Like, let's see. After her second volume got canceled, well, she finished up appearing in Champions Volume 3, and she was pretty much in a little bit of Champions Volume 4 for a handful of issues. Basically, this is all she's done since the end of this book. Appeared in the last two issues of Champions Volume 3, two issues of Gwenpool Strikes Back, Incoming, Mar Voices, The Stupid Outlawed, one issue of Empire, basically about four issues of Champions Volume 4, and the most recent thing she appeared in was Miss Mar Beyond the Limit, issues 3 through 5. And that is it. That is literally all she's done since basically her book got canceled. Yeah, it's like only a small handful of appearance. Basically, it'll appear like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Only about 15 comic books, which seems weird. Yes, it does seem kind of weird. The fact that she just stopped appearing regular basis. I mean, she's an absolute great character. Like, should she rejoin the Avengers? Yes. I think that'd be a great idea. Because she worked fine with the Avengers. I mean, I love what she did in the Mark Waid run. Like, in the Waid run, she actually got her hands on on Carol Danvers' gloves. Because I love that little scene where then later on running into, like, stuff in the book itself. Waid did a great job writing the character. You could say Waid technically created Nydia. In a way, he kind of did create her. Yeah, basically, she's a creation of Mark Waid and Alan Davis. That's kind of basically who created her. And get this, she's only been around for 6 years, and she's appeared in 123 comics in just 6 years. I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. And apparently, according to the writer, Nydia is asexual. It's weird. Could explain why she doesn't have a love interest. I mean, Nydia is a beautiful woman. Why can't a woman be with her? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Alright, next up it is Ultimate Comics Armor Wars. Yep, released in 2009. Written by Warren Ellis. Yes, another Warren Ellis book. Unlike the Ultimate Galactic Shoujo, that was really good. I love that. This I'm not a fan of. This book was pretty forgettable. Yes. What is the story of this book? It's simply put basically what's going on with Iron Man himself after the events of Ultimatum. Where the biggest thing that happened in this book is he fights his own version of the Ironmonger, who turns out to be his grandfather, Howard Stark Sr. Yes, and there is one thing I like about this book. And you want to know what that is? This armor is destroyed. Yes. The most ugliest Iron Man armor I have ever seen. An armor I've never been a fan of ever since I first saw it. Where that is pretty much in the way. Now you might be thinking, okay, is there any like Iron Man characters who make their first Ultimate Comics appearance? You might ask. Well, he does hook up with another woman. Is it Gwen? No, it's actually... First we have Justine Hammer. Yes, Justine Hammer. Who, in the regular comic universe, she's much older than this. Yes. By the way, Tony Stark has sex with her several times in the book. Yes, because he's a playboy. And then we have somebody appear in a War Machine type armor. We have this weird aircraft carrier show up. Like, I think, okay, is there any other character who basically is from the regular comic universe, makes his first appearance here? Well, let's see. I don't think much anybody else does. Not really, no. So yes, aside from Justine, we also the first appearance of the Ghost, which that's who that guy and that apparently was Ghost. Yep, that apparently was Ghost. So you have Justine, Ghost. We have Dr. Faustus. Yes, Dr. Faustus. A Captain America character who only appeared in one issue. Just this book, and that was it. Yes, Dr. Faustus. We also have apparently Dread Knight. Yes, Dread Knight appearing here. Except, okay, this guy here, that's Dr. Faustus. He's not overweight. He's got stuff going on for him. So, we have basically this other guy appears in this issue. A guy called Leopold. Yeah, he's this weird guy, basically, where he looks like he's strapped with Iron Man's armor. Yeah, Leopold. Is he original character in the MCU, comic universe? Yeah, he is. This comic was his only appearance. We also have a character named Tiberius. Yes, seriously. There's also Ruth Batsepeth, who... It's like, okay, let's have issue 3 basically have it where various characters, like, where they appear and they're here for, like, one issue. And, okay, and you're curious, though, like, what does Dread Knight himself look like? Well, we also have apparently MODOK appearing here. Yes, MODOK. For some reason. I don't know why. But he does appear in here for some reason. It's one of the most weirdest things. Yeah, it's like, oh, let's have frickin' MODOK appear for a cameo. Yes, as for Dread Knight himself, well, he looks like this. And you're thinking, wait, that's Dread Knight? Wow. It's just the Iron Man armor repainted. And it looks lame. Yes, seriously. That character is Dread Knight. Who basically was a freaking knight in the regular comic continuity. Yep. And if you're curious though, Dread Knight himself, well, he would only appear for two comics. And that's it. No, seriously. He appears just in issues 2 and 3. And then he's gone. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, and there's also a group known as Operation Firepower. No, seriously. That's the group it's called. Yeah. They appear for this one issue. And that's it. Yep. Yeah, it's almost like you read this series and it's like a series of random stuff basically happened to Iron Man. Yeah, and then of course we have him going to Italy. I got a lot. The one thing I at least gotta admit about this book, the artwork is gorgeous. Yes, Warner Bros. May do the writing in here, but the artwork is really good. This is by Steve Kurtwich. Great job with the artwork. It looks like even though the characters are quite lame, the action story is still kind of interesting to say the least. And then of course you have Justine. Yes, Justine. Oh yeah, we have more sex of Justine and Tony Stark. I should point out though, Tony and Justine in the regular comic universe never had sex. Nope, never did. We have more fighting going on here. We have this Project Tomorrow where Tony's here with Sasha. And then we have the Ironmonger. No, seriously. It's a freaking Ironmonger. And takes the helmet. Oh, look. This guy here, he's behind this whole thing. Howard Stark Sr. Yep, they chat for a while. Pretty interesting scene here. And then we have basically like you have another guy with a head, and then of course everybody dies at the final issue. Of course, you have Tony drinking with the head, and that's it. I mean, by far the action sequences are pretty good, but the story itself is pretty weak. For something called Armor Wars, it's like they couldn't call it Ultimate Comics Iron Man because they had two published, and from what I heard, and I've read those books, they're not that good. So, okay, slap a name from an actual popular storyline. Was it by two very popular creative teams? The original storyline, by the way, I give this book I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. Like the original storyline was by Bob Layton and Dave Michelini. Did the classic, really good storyline of Armor Wars. Armor Wars 2 was done by Danny O'Neill and John Romita Jr. This book feels like a very bad Iron Man book. That's my opinion. Is this the first time he's had a 4-ish miniseries? No. No, he hasn't. This is also by far the last solo book for Iron Man ever released in the Ultimate Comic Universe. Yeah, his third one ever to be... Actually, the fourth. One of 4. Because there's also a crossover, he fights the Hulk. Which I'll review that at a later point. Yeah, but that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Next one's going to be another comic order. Yep, I'll take a little bit of break and then I'll come back. Okay? Next video. Bye.